This is Learning the Ropes. Learning the Ropes. Presented by Costin and Hammer Productions. Now, on to the show with your host, Josh Hammer.
Welcome, everybody, to Learning the Ropes, a podcast that uses the game of baseball as a vehicle to learn about a variety of other topics to improve personal development and to better understand the perspectives of those around us. I am accompanied with two notable guests, one being the NorCal competition coordinator for the USTA, Macy Barajas, and Drew Gorder, who's a former teammate of mine, and dare I say, a Sacktown local boy just like me, representing the 916. He's currently also a graduate assistant for sports information at Holy Names University, and both Macy and Drew currently were, well, let's just say, part of Hawk Nation, representing the same department that I had the pleasure of working with for a number of years, meaning just 3 years after my undergrad. But I digress. Macy was a Division II student athlete who played women's tennis. Drew was a student athlete for the same program that I had the pleasure of playing in, which is Holy Names University, the home of the Dirty Birds. So, again, thank you both for being on. Really appreciate you taking the time. We experienced some technical difficulties, but just like anything in sports, minor setback, major comeback.
Thanks for having us on, Hammer.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time out of practicing social distancing. I wish we could do this in person, but we're gonna do the right thing. We're gonna do it. We're fighting adversity, and we're gonna do it through a different platform. So, again, if viewers or listeners, if you like what you hear on this podcast or any other podcast for that matter, please rate and review on iTunes, Spotify, or any other favorite platform that you listen to for podcasts. As well, you can see this happening live on YouTube, which will premiere on April 31st as of right now, but it could be scheduled for earlier, so be on the lookout. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for the next Costin and Hammer Productions video so you can know when all the latest updates come. So now, without any further ado, let's take it over to some hot questions. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to start it off, and I'm just going to full disclosure. The most experience I've ever had in tennis is Wii Tennis, playing Nintendo Wii. I was really good at that game, but all I know about tennis is 15 love. So,
there you go. At least we got that covered.
Then we're good. We don't need to talk about anything else on this podcast. So, Macy, if you don't mind, just to kind of starting us off, maybe just touch on, kind of what tennis has done for you, both with your personal development as well as, your career. Currently, you're full-time NorCal competition coordinator, but you're also doing some side hustling, I believe. You're working for, just brushing it off the shoulders here, the Oakland Roots.
Yep.
So if you don't mind, maybe just sharing a little bit about how tennis has kind of helped you through your journey.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on here. Working for USTA now, I want to help get like tennis more known out in the community and stuff. So, tennis has helped me a lot mental wise, because I don't know if a lot of you guys know about tennis, but you basically play by yourself on the court. So it's all mental, it's all individual. You have to basically figure everything out by yourself. If you're having a bad day, you have to figure out, how are you going to get it together by yourself? And so I think like career-wise, I've kind of made a path, for myself, but you do develop a lot of relationships within the team. Like when I was at Holy Names, even though you did play by yourself, you still contributed all your points to, a team base. So Yeah, that's how it's helped me, just being mentally prepared.
Right. And Drew, I'm sure you could speak to this as well. If there's one common thread, even though I've only played Wii Tennis, but I'm picking up what you're putting down. And one of the things in baseball is they always talk about how important the mental game is, particular in baseball. Drew, how have you seen the mental game play out for you in baseball, and like how important that is, and how you've brought that side of baseball into your life, like just mentally? How has baseball helped with that?
So many different ways, to be completely honest. Mental toughness is key in the game of baseball, and it's helped me so much just these past few years develop. And learning to deal with failure is a big thing as well. Succeeding 30% of the time in baseball is amazing. So
Yeah.
being able to there's so many skills that you could take away from that, prioritizing time, how you respond to failure, as I already said, just learning that success comes from hard work and stuff like that. But one of my favorite idols that I've always looked up to is Eric Burns. And he's like
don't get me fired up. You already know that's my guy.
He reminds me a lot of myself, because he was never someone who really filled up the stat sheet, but he was someone who worked hard, and he was someone who would lay out for every single ball in his area. But, I feel like that is a way to not only play the game, but it's a way to live your life, kind of transitioning from now not playing sports anymore and trying to get into teaching it and helping others, educating. And I feel like those are definitely ways that baseball's impacted me in that way.
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that. That I definitely think about Eric Burns does represent all of those things, which is another reason why I get all kinds of fired up just hearing the name Eric Burns. I had the pleasure of watching Eric Burns play for the Sacramento River Cats back when they were under the Oakland Athletics affiliation. And I used to go to every game. I'd sit on the lawn for those $6 tickets, and then try to hustle hard and paint for those hot dogs that would come from. To that point, talked about process, transition, fear from failure, or success doesn't come overnight. That's particularly a topic I think it's important to touch on. Macy, you mentioned through conversations prior to this interview that you have had experience working with the Oakland Raiders for an entry-level job. And you're serving your time working your tail off at Holy Names University. But all of those little experiences are starting to really pay off for you and come into fruition. Henceforth, your NorCal competition coordinating position, as well as working for the Oakland Roots. But I think listeners and viewers would like to hear a little bit about maybe your experience, not just working for the Raiders, but kind of what you had to go through and grow through that time of your life while working for the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah. So for the Oakland Raiders, my position was an entry level, like you said. It was the ambassador program. So it was more like a learning, all the different programs inside of a major sports industry. And so I actually was able to work in a different position on game day, where I worked with the foundations area. And what we did is the Raiders, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting what I said earlier, but they sponsored a lot of different programs like the Army, branches, education, all these charities. And every game day we brought at least one of those foundations to the games. We offered them a meal and free tickets to the game. They got to talk to some of like the Raider legends. And so I actually got to meet some of them, which was pretty cool. But what we did on game day exactly is we had a silent auction, and all the money we made, we actually donated to that foundation of that month. So your certain month was for Army, another month was education. It was cool figuring out all these different programs that the Raiders sponsored. But yeah.
Right. Just kind of seeing the other side of, just, oh, here comes big football, the black hole, the Oakland Raiders. It's like, obviously they're not in town anymore. They're in Las Vegas. But it's cool that you got to kind of stick it out on such a historic year. If you really think about it, it's a historic time for the NFL and also for the Oakland Raiders. This is a historic time that we're in just for sports in general.
True.
Being that all three of us are sports fanatics in our own way. Maybe it's Wii Tennis for me, but that's beside the point. But you think about so I'm assuming you got to work on that last game with the Oakland Raiders, right?
Right. Yeah, that was a very intense day.
I bet. So I can't even imagine. Hopefully, but I think it's pretty phenomenal that you were able to do some good in the community and kind of just see the other side of sports. And that's something I think we all learn from our sports, is that it's bigger than just the sport itself.
Yeah, definitely.
So currently, what's your role as the competition coordinator right now for the USTA? What do you do in that role?
Yeah. So I just started it barely last month. So it's kind of an awkward period.
Yeah.
Because now we're at this shelter in place thing. So what I learned from that time actually in the office is that I will be coordinating leagues all around the Northern California area. And I'll be separated into 3 different, summer league, fall league, spring league. And I just take care of all these different local and travel leagues. So travel leagues will kind of be more of the elite kind, the ones that want to go to college, want to go pro. So I'll be working with kids like that, and also working with kids who, they maybe aren't able to make it to high school level, but they still want to play a sport. So kind of helping out kids in that area too, and also helping put on tournaments of higher ranked kids and all around the NorCal area. And I'll also get to go to New York and Florida and attend conferences and stuff. So I'm excited for that to start up, even though the shelter in place kind of slowed everything down, and our whole spring league got canceled, and we're doing all these refunds and stuff now. But I'm excited to see what's to come. And It was a long journey to finally get to a position that I actually enjoy doing. So.
Right. And I think, going with the process and just that hard work, success. I don't know if you've ever heard the saying, just from what you're sharing, something that comes to mind is working hard for something we don't care about is called stress. And then working hard for something we love, that is called passion. And I think it's sometimes we have to go through those stressful jobs, to ultimately lead up to working to something that we're passionate about. Sometimes it could be, doing our passion or on the side while we're grinding through another job or something like that. So I'm going to kick it over to Drew. Drew, what do you do as a way to manage your time? What other jobs do you have on top of being an assistant sports information director?
So besides that and getting my master's right now, I work at a bar on weekends. So it's always a good time. I bet. So I'm currently bar backing and doing a little bit of training on how to bartend right now.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, so always having a good time, man. And then making a little money doing that. And then I'm really focusing on starting a podcast of my own right now. So,
which is called, do we get to know, or do you don't want to spoil the surprise?
Oh, we can say it, get the name out there.
Oh my goodness. Happening live on this podcast, the premiere.
Yeah, heard it here first. Tailgates and Teasers is the name. So
say it, tailgates and what?
Tailgates and Teasers. So
oh my goodness, tailgates and teasers. Okay.
It's going to be really cool. We're going to have a lot of cool guests on, got some guys lined up already, but right now I'm just in the process of getting the name out, getting the equipment, getting all the intro music and all that set up. So you know the whole spiel of it already, but I'm super excited to get that going. You know, it's actually something I never thought I'd really want to do, but getting that job at H&U and kind of enjoying it, the whole podcasting side of it.
Yeah, the media side.
Media side, talking to athletes, getting their story out, and just like maybe why their decision was to go to the school, or even for, you know, some pro athletes I'm going to end up talking to, their story and their crazy journey on how they got there, and just like getting their story out, being able to market it, but the whole teaser side of it as well, just having a good time with your buddies, hanging out and just talking shop. So I'm really pumped about getting that going. So yeah, a few different things, but that's where I'm at right now.
That's fantastic. My fingers are crossed for Eric Burns. I'm hoping Eric Burns makes it on there.
If we can make that happen, that would be a dream come true, man.
Absolutely. He better at least do a shout out or something. I mean, he's a pretty fun guy. If you ever watched MLB Network, he's probably one of the most like enthusiastic guys on that show. So I'm like, he's talking about tailgating with Eric Burns. I would have been like, I've lived. Like,
that would be sweet.
It would be awesome. It would be sweet. It would be sweet. So when we think about, you know, how far both of you have come on just like your journey, we mentioned, you know, the parallel between baseball and tennis regarding the mental side of the game. Obviously, right now, all of us, something that I don't think gets talked about enough is kind of what we have to grow through after being a student athlete. And it's particularly for me, and I'm going to open up the table here a little bit, is we all strive to be in shape, you know, health and wellness, and, you know, practicing self-care and those kind of things. Oftentimes as a student athlete, we can easily get caught up in the grind that we kind of fall into a good routine, though, as far as like taking care of our bodies. And something that I might bring up with another guest of mine is how our body is our temple, and we can't really do too much we can't be our best versions of ourselves in relationships, friendships, you name it, careers. So right now when we're practicing self-quarantine, what are some of the things that you guys are doing to, continue to work on that athletic stature and to really focus on taking care of yourself through this time?
Go ahead, Macy.
Okay. After being an athlete, I kind of saw it. There's two sides of these people. Like, people are like, oh, I need to stay fit and stuff. Well, my mental state, I was kind of like, oh, finally I get a break. But
yes,
finally.
But I mean, at that time I kind of wanted to get my life going. So
I hear you. Yeah, you're like, I kind of focus, I'm dialed in, I know kind of where I want to take this. I'm so glad I don't have to wake up at a miserable hour just to go get my workout on.
6 a.m., no more of that. But so I kind of had more of that state. I mean, now that the shelter in place is there, I'm kind of like, oh wait, maybe I do need a workout. But I've kind of just been eating really well lately.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's kind of like helping maintain the figure or whatever that you guys want to talk about. But I kind of work out here and there. I try to eat the best as I can, but
that's tough.
I mean, I miss it, but it's like a mental break in a sense. I want to go back.
Yeah. What about you, Drew?
Kind of agree with what Macy said. It was nice to get a little mental break, but obviously it sucks with everything that's going on. So hopefully we can get back to normal here pretty soon. But for me, just adapting to change. And just trying to go through each day, take it day by day, not get too ahead of yourself, because when you have so much time on your hands, it's easy to get, complacent or procrastinate and push things off. So for me, just take it day by day, wake up in the morning, cook breakfast, do some sort of activity, get my workout in. Other than that, just, I'm still taking classes. So doing that, trying to get outside. I know I'm not supposed to be, but I live across the street from a nature area. So I just kind of walk around out there, get some fresh air. It's nice instead of being in the house all day. So, and then I've been talking to you about it a little bit, but grinding on that podcast, getting that up and going. So it's work, I'm not just sitting at home watching TV all day, but sometimes I do take the time and watch TV all day long. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, but I mean, that's normal. As
it
you
happens.
should.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. And if it happens, it happens. It is what it is. Yeah. I think for me on that topic it's a constant work in progress. I've kind of taken the mindset that I don't know if you ever heard this, but it's like, sometimes we might feel burned out and tired. I know I was kind of feeling that kind of way, just teaching and coaching. I love the job and everything, but right now is a good time where you feel a little bit more burned out because it's like I'm adapting my pedagogy and like everything when it comes to teaching and coaching. And coaching, it's like baseball got put on the shelf. But the little slogan I kind of stick with is it your burning point or your turning point? So is it right now, are we going to use this time to just not chase after our goals? Or are we not going to crush the day in some shape or form? And I'm again, it's a work in progress. So I'm not one to be like, yeah, I got it all together and I'm just super driven and everything's working out. No, and the point I'm trying to make is how important it is. And then, again, this is kind of a do as I say, not as I do situation. That's something I need to work on, is to take more time to decompress. Right now, I think it's important to really look inward. I'm really good at like going out and doing stuff and connecting and doing all kinds of stuff to keep me busy. But it's also important to really focus on kind of just where we're at as people, like as a person right now. And I think through our experiences, it's just kind of a funky time. Macy mentioned about NorCal competition coordinator. It's like, yeah, I got this job for a month, and then okay, I guess I have to adjust everything. I gotta adjust everything. So again, I think it's important for us to just keep saying to ourselves and to each other that like we're in this together and we'll take it day by day, and just focus on the things that we've learned from our respective sport. So tennis and baseball, one thing is the mental side, and like just taking time to breathe. Like it's just I know for pitching, it's like if you don't focus on your breath and at least a little bit, you get really anxious. And so I don't know.
Staying calm in the box too. That's a big thing, right?
There it is. Yeah. And playing Wii tennis. Yes. Yeah, I really am calm and collective when I turn on my Nintendo Wii. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with that. I just I can't let it go. But is there anything else as far as your journeys that really kind of resonate with you? Like, what are you most looking forward to doing when everything kind of comes back into order, if that day comes in the next near future? What about your job, Macy, particularly are you like most excited about?
I'm excited to put on tournaments.
Okay.
That's kind of what I've always wanted to do, is, put on some type of event. So, I'm still doing my master's at Holy Names. I'm the athletics event management graduate assistant. So basically you're one of your old jobs, Josh. But, so I was really happy to get that position because it was exactly down the alley I wanted to take for my future career. So, I guess when all this is over, I can't wait for the USTA side. I can't wait to put on tournaments and actually see how the leagues are ran throughout NorCal. And then for school, I can't wait to, start up with all of our athletes and our
Right.
game days and stuff, and then for the Oakland Roots game days, for those to come back because those are really fun. So, yeah.
Do you know Johannes Harish by chance?
Yeah, I know.
He's actually going to
Johannes.
be a guest on this show in the next few weeks. So,
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Oakland Roots, shouting him out now.
Yeah, shout 'em out. Come to our
yep.
games. We'll be back up soon.
Okay. Okay. So in the meantime, follow them on social media to see all the latest updates from them. I'm sure there's a lot of creative content coming out right now too.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I know. I followed it. It is awesome. I'm also really good at Wii Soccer. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think that's a game.
We got to take that thing away from you, man. I don't know.
I can't. My precious. So, Drew, what are you most looking forward to post? I was going to say graduation, but I don't think that's going to, at least for this summer. But what are you most looking forward to when everything kind of goes back to normal?
Just being able to interact with people again.
I'm with you.
Being able to go outside, and I'm the biggest sports fanatic that you could meet. So
this is true. He is a diehard Carolina Panthers fan. Like, I didn't even know that existed in California, let alone Sacramento.
Yes.
But this guy.
Panthers, A's, Kings, and I love mixed martial arts, watching that stuff. So
what?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm the biggest, like, Conor McGregor.
Something new every day. Okay.
The biggest Conor McGregor fan that you could ever meet. So
McGregor. Okay.
Yeah. So I love
that. I did know. I thought you meant like martial arts, like you have a black belt, and I just didn't
know. No. I wish, but
otherwise I would have fought you at Hawk Mania just for that. But then I would have stayed away once you said you're into black belts and stuff. I think
WrestleMania. If you ever throw an event like that again, it's on Hammer. I'm just letting you know.
All right, Macy's gonna be my manager, and she's gonna freaking do a sweep leg kick from her Oakland Roots, and then I'm gonna give her a tennis racket. Then it's all over. She'll just like hit you line drives. Anyway, although you're a shortstop, you can handle it. I guess. I don't know.
Hopefully, I don't know.
I guess we'll have to see. Stay tuned, folks. Yeah.
But yeah, it's when all this thing gets settled, just getting back into the gist of things. Sports coming back, being able to interact with people, like I said, but mainly, just being able to, I don't know, just get my podcast going and get back to working, making money, doing that kind of stuff while I'm getting my degree. That's my focus right now. I don't try to get too carried away. I like to stay within arm's reach and just kind of plug along. So that's where I'm at right now, and take it day by day, as I said earlier. So
yeah, totally. And I'll leave one more like pipe bomb is if there's that saying of, if there's hope for your future, there's power in the present. So if there's hope for your future, there's power in the present. I think that's true. Right. I think that especially right now, we all need to learn how to just like make the best of each present moment, So before we close, I wanted to ask both of you if there's anything else that you would like to add or maybe plug for viewers or listeners to hear about. So I know, Macy, we got the Oakland Roots. Shout out to the Oakland Roots. We need to follow their social media. Does USTA have any social media? Is that rolling right now? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we do. Look it up. United States Tennis Association.
Plug.
If you're listening to this podcast, USTA Oakland Roots will also be in our description, so you can follow along with Macy Bras, because she's trending worldwide on Twitter, in case you're wondering.
For sure.
I think so.
I just got a notification that said she was, so I don't know, man. You might be right.
I mean, I'm not going to confirm or deny, but it's a pretty big deal. So, and then also Wii Tennis is trending next to it too, I believe.
There it is. Yeah.
Wii Tennis.
Coming back. It's coming back.
It's making a comeback. Sorry, Nintendo Switch. Yeah. Drew, what about you? What you want to plug? Want to give any warm ups for your new podcasts?
I All right, sure. So Tailgates and Teasers, it's going to be sports, comedy, just kind of current topics going on in the sports world. We're going to have pro athletes on right now. I have pro boxers, trying to keep it local talent in Sacramento Bay Area, but I have pro boxers, minor leaguers, pro baseball players from the area coming on. H&U's finest, Marcellus Howard, has committed to coming on for a episode. So the backyard legend right there, but
yes, yep,
pretty cool. But yeah, just really getting those stories of their lives, how they got to where they're at today, and all the hard work that they've had to put in, and just all the bumps along the way. Just get those stories out there. I'm really passionate about sports and hearing people's stories and getting their content so that way they can gain fans, and it'll help me out too in the long run with gaining some followers. So I'm all about it,
Yeah, no, absolutely. So be sure to follow Drew Gorder on Instagram, Twitter, to see all the latest updates for his new project. Follow Macy Brajas to watch her journey as she continues to grow through more career paths. I've lost track almost, but it's currently the NorCal competition coordinator for the USTA, and she's also working for the Oakland Roots. So follow those platforms to see all the latest content coming from Macy Brajas' journey. So it's going to be epic. Again, thank you both for taking your generous time to be on the show. Really appreciate it. So from myself, Macy Brajas, and Drew Gorder, this has been Learning the Ropes. We appreciate your time, and we hope to catch you down the road. Peace out.
Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you know exactly when the next Costin and Hammer Productions video drops!